Hello everyone, Wisteria here. Welcome back to Aesop's Fables. We continue now with the monkey and the camel. At a gathering of all the beasts, the monkey gave an exhibition of dancing and entertained the company vastly. There was great applause at the finish, which excited the envy of the camel and made his desire to win the favour of the assembly by the same means. So he got up from his place and began dancing, but he cut such a ridiculous figure as he plunged about, and made such a grotesque exhibition of himself, ungainly person he was, that the beasts all fell upon him with ridiculous laughter and ridicule, and drove him far away. The sick man and the doctor. A sick man received a visit from his doctor, who asked him how he was. Fairly well, doctor, said he, but I find I sweat a great deal. Ah, said the doctor, that's a good sign. On his next visit, he asked the same question, and his patient replied, I'm much as usual, but I've taken to having shivering fits, which leave me cold all over. Ah, said the doctor, that's a good sign too. When he came the third time and inquired as before about his patient's health, the sick man said that he felt very feverish. A very good sign, said the doctor. You're doing very nicely indeed. Afterwards, a friend came to see the invalid, and on asking him how he did, received this replies, My dear friend, I'm dying of good signs. Oh my gosh, that's silly. The Travellers and the Plane Tree. Two travellers were walking along a bare and dusty road in the heat of a summer's day. Coming presently to a plane tree, they joyfully turned aside to shelter from the burning rays of the sun in the deep shade of its spreading branches. As they rested, looking up into the tree, one of them remarked to his companion, What a useless tree, and a plane. It bears no fruit, and it is of no service to man at all. The plane tree interrupted him with indignation. You ungrateful creature, it cried. You come, take shelter under me from the scorching sun, and then, in the very act of enjoying the cool shade of my foliage, you abuse me and call me good for nothing. There's a lesson in this, and it is. Many a service is met with ingratitude. Possibly true. The flea and the ox. A flea once said to an ox, How comes it that a big strong fellow like you is content to serve mankind and do all their hard work just for them, while I'm no bigger than, well, as you see, I'm tiny. I live on their bodies, and I drink my fill of their blood, and never do a stroke for it all. To which the ox replied, Men are very kind to me, and so I am grateful to them. They feed and house me well, and every now and then they show their fondness for me by patting me on the head and on the neck. They'd pet me too, said the flea, if I let them, but I take good care that they don't. or there would be nothing left of me. That's true. The next is called The Birds, the Bees, and the Bat. The birds were at war with bees, and many battles were fought, with varying success on either side. The bat did not throw in his lot, definitely with either party. But when things went well for the birds, he was found fighting in their ranks, when on the other hand, the bees got the upper hand. He was to be found among the bees. No one paid any attention to him while the war lasted, but when it was over, and peace was restored, and neither the birds nor the bees would have anything to do with so double-faced a traitor. And so he remains this day, a solitary outcast from both. That's the story of how the bat only lives with other bats now in caves hiding, because he took both sides. The man and his two sweethearts. A man of middle age, whose hair was turning grey, had two sweethearts, an old woman and a young one. The elder of the two didn't like having a lover who looked so much younger than herself. So, whenever he came to see her, she used to pull the dark hairs out of his head to make him look old. The younger, on the other hand, didn't like him to look much older than herself, and took every opportunity of pulling out the grey hairs to make him look young. Between them, they left not a hair in his head, and he became perfectly bald. Interesting. The eagle, the jackdaw, and the shepherd. One day a jackdaw saw an eagle swoop down on a lamb and carry it off with its talons. "My word," said the jackdaw, "I'll do that myself." So it flew high up in the air, and then came shooting down with a great whirring of wings onto the back of a big ram. It had no sooner alighted than its claws got caught fast in the wool, and nothing it could do was of any use. There it was stuck, flapping away, and only making things worse instead of better. By and by, up came the shepherd. "Oh ho," he said, "so that's what you'd be doing, is it? Is it?" And he took the jackdaw and clipped its wings and carried it home to his children. It looked so odd that they didn't know what to make of it. "What sort of bird is it, father?" they asked. "It's a jackdaw," he replied, "and nothing but a jackdaw, but it wants to be taken for an eagle." There is a lesson in that too, guys. If you attempt what is beyond your power, your trouble will be wasted, and you're caught not only misfortune, but also ridicule. The Wolf and the Boy. A wolf who had just enjoyed a very good meal and was in a playful mood caught sight of a boy lying flat upon the ground, and realizing that he was trying to hide, and that it was with fear of himself that made him do this, he went up to him and said, "Aha, I found you, you see." And playing hide and seek. They are playing hide and seek. That's so cute. "But if you can say 3 things to me, the truth of which cannot be disputed, I will spare your life." Okay, maybe they're not playing hide and seek. The boy plucked up courage and thought for a moment, and then he said, "First, it is a pity you saw me. Secondly, I was a fool to let myself be seen. And thirdly, we all hate wolves because they're always making unprovoked attacks upon the flocks." The wolf replied, "Well, what you say is true enough from your point of view, so you may go." It's an interesting one. Different, that's for sure. I thought they were just playing hide and seek at first, guys. I thought it were cute. Thank you for listening to this episode of Aesop's Fables, and I shall see you the next time. Many blessings.